This is QTV News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I am Umudu Gajaga and thank you very much for joining us. First, here are the main news headlines.
In an effort.
The Minister of Trade, Babukar Ismaila Juve, embarked on a series of site visits to inspect businesses that have been granted special investment certificates and export promotion zone license. On the commemoration of the World Drowning Prevention Day today, members of the Red Dolphins Lifeguard Association at Palmarima Beach called on the government to provide them with more support to save more lives. The Gambia College School of Nursing and Midwifery conducted a sensitization program using psychodrama to highlight various psychiatric conditions. In international news, 14 African journalists selected by the U.S. State Department's Foreign Press Centers through the U.S. embassies arrived in Washington, D.C. on Sunday at the start of a reporting tour. Those were the news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. First we apologize for the late start of the news. The Minister of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment, Babukar Ismaila Juve, embarked on a series of site visits to inspect identified businesses that have been granted Special Investment Certificates, SIC, and Export Promotion Zones licenses, EPZL, by the Gambia government. And Lena Ikwenyiba has more.
In an effort to promote and boost investment within the Greater Banjul, Minister Juve began his tour with a visit to Radville Farm in Tubakuta. The farm, a recipient of an SIC, has shown promise in contributing to the agricultural sector's growth and strengthening local economic development. Suleiman Boch, Financial and Operations Manager of Radville Farm, identified some of their main challenges.
Issues with labor, because that's the major issue here with our farms. Taxes for our agricultural workers, because when you look into government civil servants, they are just taxed based on their basic salary. But agricultural workers are taxed on the gross amount, which I think it is not fair. If we wanted to encourage farming, we needed to put some consideration for people to be attracted to farming.
Jainaba A. Diba, Chief Supervisor of Radville Farm and a diploma holder in agriculture from the Gambia College, urged more youths to explore opportunities in the agricultural sector, particularly given that 90% of their workforce consists of women.
My advice for them is to come. They are going to learn so many things here. Though you are going to be employed at somewhere else, where you're going to sit at the office and the AC will be touching you or the fan will be touching you. But to learn so many things, you have to come to Radville Farm. There are so many things in agriculture that you are going to learn here.
Continuing his inspection, Minister Juve then called on EPCO Beverages in Mandinaba. Although the company is still under construction and yet to begin operations, it is projected to provide employment opportunities to over 100 Gambian youth and significantly contribute to the Gambia's unemployment reduction and industrialization goals. Pankaj Badhawan is the director of EPCO Beverages.
So we're going to produce very soon the juices, soft drink and water in this country for local consumption and the export. A lot of youths, they are sitting every corner and they don't have job. They are going back way, so we can stop them and try to give more employment for them.
The final stop on the minister's itinerary was Bell Breweries Limited in Bonto. The brewery, holding both SIC and EPZL licenses, will be a significant player in the country's brewing industry, generating employment opportunities and enhancing export potential. Bori Dabo, Director of Marketing at Bell Breweries Limited, shared insights about the company's vision and future prospects.
Beverage has been produced in this country for over 40 years, but suddenly the industry vanished, and Bell is here to give Gambian people the beverages that they have been yearning for, and hopefully by end of August they will start seeing the first beverages being produced by this new and beautiful company.
During each visit, the minister engaged with the management and workforce, gaining valuable insights into the operations, challenges and potential growth prospects of these industries. Both the minister and Usainu Senghor, Chief Executive Officer at Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, expressed satisfaction on completion of the site visits.
I am impressed with the quality of work happening. You can see a lot of money went into this project. The assembling is going on. We have seen a lot of progress being registered. We are being told in the next 2 to 3 months they should produce, the first products will come out of the production line. I'm excited about this and I look forward to the finished product.
We are very happy. We are proud of this project and we will encourage others, particularly domestic investors, to emulate from these investors as well.
The Trade Minister's site visits demonstrate the government's dedication to supporting investments and serve as a testament to the Gambia's efforts in attracting foreign direct investment and fostering economic growth within the Greater Banjul area. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwinyiba.
On the commemoration of World Drowning Prevention Day, observed on the 25th of July each year, members of the Red Dolphins Lifeguard Association at Palmarima Beach called on the government to provide them with more support to save more lives. Ansumana Esonyasi has the rest of the story.
Described as a silent killer by the UN, drowning is said to claim at least 236,000 lives annually and ranks amongst the top 10 killer causes for children and youths aged 1 to 24 years. In the Gambia, there are frequent reports of drowning at our beaches. However, a group of about 50 young men decided to come together to help prevent beachgoers from drowning. And as the world today commemorates Drowning Prevention Day, they reflect on their journey and the challenges they encounter daily to save lives. Suleiman Jambang is the Assistant Secretary of the Red Dolphin Lifeguard Association at Palmarima Beach. He explains what motivates them and the challenges they encounter. Right now, we need support. We want to cover the entire beach from Senegambia all the way to Lebato, because these places are mostly crowded and often we have children who come here to swim. So we need to have our men out here so we can prevent people from drowning. We have been doing this job voluntarily for years. No one pays us, but we are here every day. So I want to plead to the government to please assist us by providing us with materials so we can do our job better. Mr. Jabang's plea for support is echoed by his colleagues, Ibu Jan and Basiru Sambo.
Because of Gambia,
in the Gambia, not many people can swim, and most of those who come to the beach for their Sunday parties cannot swim. So we are here every day to advise, caution and offer support whenever our service is needed. And it is true that we are not paid for what we do here. But imagine having the desire to serve your fellow countrymen and humanity, yet the materials we need to do the job are not available. It can be very frustrating and discouraging. Most of us come from far off places, so we live far from the beach. And because we have no other job but saving people's lives at the beach, we struggle to even get transport to come to the beach. So, I also want to plead with the government to support us with materials and possibly a small token that we can use to support ourselves. It could be an annual support. We just want to help. As part of the commemorations, these lifeguards performed a simulation of how they rescue people at the beach to prevent them from drowning. This makeshift tower serves as the crow's nest, a perfect surveillance spot for them to look out in the sea to closely monitor people who come to swim and to rescue them if the need arises. Ansumana Esonyasi for QTV News.
From that story by Ansumana Esonyasi, we will go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
The National Roads Authority, the implementing agency for the Barting-Harding Highway Widening Project, in collaboration with the Ministry of Works, the contractors, Areski, the consultant, South Consult, Gamtech GV, OIC Gambia, and partners, seek the support of the public in the implementation of the project as Phase 1 nears completion. Drivers are strongly advised to exercise caution, adhere to speed limits and respect traffic diversions. Pedestrians and vendors are urged to maintain a safe distance from the road. The authority reminds the public that the right-of-way remains at 40 meters from the road, center line on both sides. Property owners are therefore urged to respect reserved allocation and refrain from encroachment. The understanding and cooperation of the public are highly solicited. This announcement is brought to you by the National Roads Authority.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia College School of Nursing and Midwifery conducted a sensitization program on Tuesday using psychodrama to highlight various psychiatric conditions. Loli M. Camara was at the event and filed this report.
The aim of the psychodrama by the Convention Class of January 2022 is to prevent the wide range of stigma and discrimination against psychiatric patients. The psychodrama is a partial fulfillment of Model 7 of the academic requirement in the school's psychiatric model. The students demonstrated different psychiatric conditions using drama performance on the importance of mental health awareness. Fatimata Ba, head of school, in her welcome remarks, highlighted the need for more awareness of mental health.
Mental health, I believe, in a short note, should be a business for everybody, and I think that has even triggered us as an institution to ensure that we come up with another new program which deals with mental health and psychosocial well-being of people, because we have seen the need that this society needs people who are well knowledgeable and who can take care of people regarding their mental well-being.
Omar M. Fadera, conversion class representative, says 3 topics were chosen for this year's psychodrama.
One of them is the mania, and the other one is puerperal psychosis, and the last one we're doing is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorders. When you look at this country, mental health has been a challenge, and then one of the conditions that we've been seeing that people are not paying much attention to involves these particular 3 topics that we selected.
Mr. Fadera gave this important message to his colleagues.
This is a challenge, I would say, to the upcoming ones. They have seen what we're doing right now. So it is just a matter of them adjusting to the issues concerning mental health. Like I said, it's a challenge and a concern for everybody.
Bakari Kamara, the matron at the Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Unit, and Yankuba Suare, a registered mental health nurse at the Ministry of Health, who are both judges at the event, gave us their views.
Very well, I'm satisfied, especially the character I saw on someone who is manifesting the sign and symptom of mania. It means somebody who has, very high elevated mood. That individual is there to jumping from one another to another. Then the individual against have multicolor in that individual.
It's a module, a psychiatric module. So after this show and this assessment as well, when this is done, we mark this thing. After submit the mark, then this module is finished. Psychiatric module till final exam. But final exam probably this student may come there as their questions. So that's why the health school encourage them to stay and learn from them.
The Tanka Tanka Psychiatric Hospital is the only mental health psychiatric treatment center in the Gambia. It was built in 2009 by a Dutch non-governmental organization. Apart from a lack of adequate facilities, wrong perceptions about mental health remain a major challenge. With their annual psychodrama performances, the Gambia College, School of Nursing and Midwifery hope their performances are contributing to changing people's perceptions and misconceptions of psychiatric patients and those with mental health conditions. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
The School for Enrolled Community Health Nurses Alumni Association held its annual congress on Saturday in Mansakonko in the Lower River region. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde attended the program and filed this report.
The School for Enrolled Community Health Nurses Alumni was established to bring community health nurses under an umbrella body guided by the motto Unification, Advocacy and Development As required by the Constitution, the Alumni Association is mandated to organize and conduct a national congress to give activity reports and elect new executive members. Mamadou S. Diallo, the Alumni's Secretary General, emphasized the Congress activity report.
The executive had embarked on membership registration tour in North Bank East and West, so as to have an interface with its members and to avail the executive the opportunity to enlighten members directly what the alumni's sole aim is and encourage them to register. During this tour in North Bank East and West, 66 new members were enlisted by collecting their payroll numbers for direct monthly deduction.
Samba Boy, the president of the Alumni Association, said his team has recorded tremendous achievements in the last 4 years.
When we came, we were able to install internet system to the school because the school, imagine a tertiary institution that has no internet system. But we mobilized funds from the general membership, install internet system to the tune of $50,000, subscribe 3 months, and in this internet system, the entire students, which are almost more than 200 students, are benefiting free internet from the school, including the lecturers. Not only that, there was a time the school was in dire need of printers. Exam was approaching. There was no printer to print exam questions. So the school administrators had to reach out to the alumni executive that they need a printer because it was exam and they needed a printer to print exam.
Mustafa Sane, CHN tutor in the Central River region, outlined the significant role community health nurses play to improve primary health care and some of the challenges they face.
Most of the regions are battling with scrap motorbikes, of which most of those bikes are grounded. This is one of the key challenges that the CHNs are facing. And without motorbikes, they cannot be able to do their functions, that is supervision, effectively.
Usman Kamara was the guest speaker of the event.
Overall, community health nursing is a critical component of healthcare system as it helps to promote and maintain the health of all of the entire communities, ultimately improving the quality of life for individuals and society as a whole.
The School for Enrolled Community Health Nurses was established in 1976 in Mansakonko to train nurses to strengthen village health services. Their role includes the supervision of village health workers, community birth companions, and participating in reproductive health services in communities. The CHN Alumni Association was established in 2009 to mobilize resources for the school and promote peaceful coexistence and to advocate for the transformation of the school to a higher tertiary institute. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
From that report by Bakari Balje, it takes us to international news. "14 African journalists selected by the U.S. State Department Foreign Press Centers throughout the U.S. embassies arrived in Washington, D.C. on Sunday at the start of a reporting tour. On Monday, the participating journalists had a tour of the city before an engagement with senior U.S. government officials, which was centered on the U.S.-Africa relations. QTV's Aliou Cissé is taking part in this tour, and he now reports from Washington, D.C.
The reporting tour is a follow-up to the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit of December 2022. The tour begins in the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C., and will continue to Memphis, Tennessee, and Missoula in Montana. No trip to Washington, D.C. is complete without touring the city's celebrated monuments and memorials. For this reason, the tour officially began on Monday with a tour of some of the iconic and landmark structures and memorials in Washington, D.C., including the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial, the White House, the National World War II Memorial, and the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. With a deep, rich, and complicated history, the United States, a country of opportunities where everything is possible, is respected by many for its values of democracy and openness to diversity, as manifested in the millions of immigrants in the country. With the theme of the tour focusing on youth, who are the future leaders, this visit will help journalists understand how youth support democratic development, taking part in civic engagement, and advocating social justice in the United States. The tour will also explore what social justice, crisis climate, and democracy in action look like in America, and to further expand the understanding of the U.S. cultural diversity civic engagement and values. At a media engagement with journalists at the Foreign Press Center's office in Washington, D.C., Ambassador Johnny Cousin, Special Presidential Representative for U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit implementation, said his office has been working on the implementation of the pledges and commitments made at the 3-day U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit hosted by President Biden in December 2022.
There was also commitment to continue the work of Power Africa, which is designed to provide assistance in bringing electricity to some 600 million Africans who are not serviced by electrical power these days.
The Biden's administration is committed to work with Africa, particularly the Gambia, which is benefiting from the Millennium Challenge Corporation Program and the USAID, among others. The U.S. government is also supporting the country's agriculture sector, entrepreneurship, and transitional justice process as well. Molly Fee, Assistant Secretary at the Bureau of Africa Affairs, said the United States believes in Africa and is in full support of Africa getting a permanent seat at the UN Security Council and to also boost intra-Africa trade.
As you know, we've been big advocates to expand the G20 membership to include the African Union. And we also, the President announced in December that we believe Africa should have a permanent seat on the Security Council. So these are ways in which we're trying to make concrete our conviction that Africa needs to be part of the global conversation and not just focus on issues.
Jude Devermont, Special Assistant to the President and Senior Director for Africa Affairs at the National Security Council, described Africa as a long-standing important development ally to the U.S. With Africa being the target for the world's most powerful countries, he said the U.S.'s interest and commitment to Africa is undetermined by China's engagement on the continent.
At the same time, just like in every other place in the world, we will raise questions and concerns that we have about Chinese engagement on the continent if our view is that it may undercut African sovereignty or create conditions that are not advantageous to African workers or industries or governments, or that threaten our national security interests. We do that everywhere in the world. We would do it in Africa.
The last U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit demonstrated a renewed commitment of the U.S. to expand partnerships with African countries, institutions, and people. Reporting for QTV News from Washington, D.C. in the U.S., I am Aliou Cisse.
From that report by Aliou Cisse, that's it for QTV News tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another bulletin.